All right, everyone, now that we have it all set up, let me welcome you to the Town Topwater 120 PDL. This is the newest boat in Old Town's lineup for the Topwater series, and everybody has asked for it. Old Town was listening and they've delivered. Okay, so we're going to start up here at the front of the kayak and then we'll work our way to the rear. You've got your drain plug, you've got a handle to carry it and transport. The bow hatch is really nice, so when a swell comes in and it tries to force its way through, this little rubber flap right here actually interlocks with this little lip right here on the hull, the plastic itself. So that is a really nice seal, and you have a one-handed release type clip just like that, so you can get in and out of it. So that's really nice. Moving down over here, you've got a transducer like hole where the wire goes through, and then you can run that inside the hull, so that's nice. There's also a transducer mount underneath. Right here you got the PDL drive, and this guy has, I think, the best warranty out there on the market. It comes with 5 years from date of purchase, so this thing is solid. It's heavy, 19.5 pounds, but I'm telling you what, the gearing in it is absolutely amazing. You've got dry storage right up in here. This is where I keep my sunglasses, my forceps, some other things, maybe keys, the wallet. All of those things go inside there, and I'm rest assured that they're going to stay dry. So that's a really nice addition to have just right in front of you to grab it really quickly. The PDL drive mounts right here. These are the lockdowns. You got one on each side, so you just lock this fella down right there and you're ready to go. Let's see, moving back right in here, you've got one-way scupper valves, so when water comes in it can drain out, but when water tries to force itself through from the bottom, this one-way valve will not allow for it to shoot up, so that's pretty decent to have. Moving back, you've got the gear track holders. So if you want to mount a fish finder, a nice Humminbird, a Lowrance, whatever you prefer, you can do that up here. You can put a rod holder, trolling rod holder, anything that uses gear tracks to mount, you can do that with the use of these gear tracks. You've got 2 pockets right here with rubberized mesh, or it's like, yeah, rubberized mesh. I prefer these over the nylon mesh because hooks do not tend to get stuck on these. So that's really nice to have 2 pockets right there. You've got some spot to place all of the used lures that you're using for the day, and it keeps them tidy and out of the way. Moving back, you've got your seat. This right here is adjustable to go forward and back. You just raise these clips up backwards and forwards. Because I'm 5'7" and my legs are short, I have to go to the second hole, and that's where I ride in order to reach the pedals of the PDL drive. So I don't really get to take advantage of the footrests that you got down here. They're padded. It's a nice addition to have to this kayak. Old Town placed a ruler 1 to 15 inches. That's something nice to have for like you taller guys, or if I really wanted to know the size of a crappie, maybe that's what I could get use out of it. I'd just move the seat backwards, place it on there, but I really don't see myself using that feature right there. So we go back forward right there, and let's talk about the seat. So it's a fixed height. There's no going up or down. You can recline though by use of these little buckles right here and the straps. To recline, you just do that, and the seat will go back further. To fix your position, you just tighten it back up, and there you go. This is the way I like to have it, and it is good. So that's it for the seat. It's a mesh, so you're not gonna sweat your behind off whenever you're out there in these hot Texas summer days that are coming up. It's breathable. That's a nice addition to have. You've got 2 handles in the middle of the kayak on each side. So I don't know what you would actually use these for. I wouldn't personally use them to transport it. Maybe you could try to suitcase this thing, but at 87 pounds, I don't see myself doing that. I would just have one person up there and one person in the rear to transport it back and forth. Right here is your steering, your rudder control. You've got the trucker style ball right here to help go back and forth, and then you have a tension knob. So let's say the rudder is deployed, which let me show you that right now. Let's unstrap that, and here we go. You deploy the rudder just like that. It's super easy. I love this design. It makes things a lot easier. If I'm in the marsh, I'll just go 3/4 of the way. The rudder's in line with the keel, and it's providing me with a little bit of steering ability, so that is nice to have right there. And then you go back up. So that's the rudder deployment right there. Now that we've got that up, we can come back over here, and what I was saying about drifting or actually just pedaling. A lot of y'all have asked, hey, does your kayak go left or right whenever you're pedaling? So when I let go of the rudder control and I start to pedal, my kayak tends to go to the left or it goes to the right. Old Town thought of this, and they addressed that issue by use of this tension knob right there. You tighten it down and it does not let your rudder control go left or right. It locks in that position, so you rest assured you can go straight, and that kind of helps you out there. Moving back a little bit, you've got the paddle clip holder. I love this style. The design is it's just genius because it actually holds your paddle. It does what it was designed to do. Plus it's got this lock. Being that you're going to use the PDL drive, you don't tend to think about the paddle and you forget about it. And then if you're in rough waters, when a swell comes through and it hits, it's not going to jar your paddle away from the hull of the kayak and then just pop it off. Like most kayaks out there, they don't put too much attention and thought into this, and I've lost my paddle several times with my older kayaks, so that is nice to have. Right here, this is absolutely genius. Old Town, thank y'all for doing this. You've saved me 20 bucks and from having to drill into the hull of the kayak whenever it's brand new. This right here is the rod holster. That's what I'm going to call it. You call it what you will, but whenever I catch a fish, y'all will see me using a ram tube that's angled forward to holster my rod, and then I can tend to the fish, tie a new lure on, put a new leader, whatever the case may be. Old Town has thought of that, and it is in the perfect position, especially whenever you get up here and you're push pulling in the marsh. I'm just standing up, going back and forth, and if I see a red, I don't even have to turn. I know that it's right here. It's in the perfect position to grab and then make the cast. So that is really nice to have right there. Thank you for doing that. Now, going back over here in the middle, you have another hatch to access the center portion of the hull. If you want to drill anything and mount any type of accessory, you can do so by getting that. Maybe you can put a battery down here for your electronics, just whatever you need. You have access to it, and it locks and unlocks, so that is nice. Back here towards the tank well, you've got 2 flush mount rod holders to maybe troll with, or just store rod holders. Not store rod holders, you can store rods if you don't want to bring a crate or some other type of device to hold your rods. You've got 2, so a total of 3 flush mount rod holders. That's really nice to have. And then going into the tank well itself, you've got 4 scuppers. The kayak comes with 2 yellow scupper plugs, and I don't really know what I would use those for. Probably nothing, because anything that I store back here, I don't mind it getting wet, or I've already waterproofed myself. You've got the bungee to help hold down a crate or any gear that you have that you don't want to go overboard. This can kind of cinch that down. And then all the way to the rear of the kayak, you've got 1 carry handle and a rudder strap that locks down, and that is it. That's pretty much it for the features. Now, these are nitpicky things that I wished Old Town would have addressed in the design of it. Whenever you're carrying the kayak, transporting it, you have your buddy up there at the front, you're here at the rear, and you lift, the kayak is off balance, and that's a pain. So you have to grab with one hand and in the other hand support the weight on the other end. It'd just be nice to see the mold have an additional handle. I know it's redundant having two of them, but I mean, it makes it easier for the user to get back and forth off of the water. The next thing is right here. The placement of the rod holder, the holster, is perfect for sight casting reds when you're push pulling in the marsh. However, whenever you're in motion and you're going to get from one spot to another, and if you leave your rod holstered, it's kind of in the way to steer, but it's not a game changer. I would rather have this flush mount rod holder here than them just take it off. So I guess I'm just being nitpicky, and it's not that big of a deal, but it's just something y'all should be aware of. Like, hey man, they put this right there and you can't even use it because it gets in the way of the steering control, the rudder control. It's got a W hole shape, which provides plenty of stability. If you'd like, check out one of my other videos whenever I did a open water, like really nasty water test on this thing. It was not this kayak per se, but I'm referencing the W hole shape with the Old Town Topwater 106 PDL. And you can kind of see what that's like. Now let's talk about the differences between the Topwater 120 PDL and the 106 PDL. Old Town did a lot of listening to some of the things that we had to say on forums, on the YouTube channels. Everybody was like, yep, I love the 106. It's a quick grab and go. It's an afterthought whenever you want to get it to and from the water. However, I would like a 12-foot or longer version. I know that was me whenever I did the review on the 106 PDL, because I fish in the marsh and open water a lot. And when you're push poling, a 10.5-foot kayak just doesn't track as straight as something that's a little bit longer. So they just delivered. You've got a 12-foot kayak now, and with that additional length, you're able to have more storage in the front, more storage in the rear tank well, and your carry capacity has been beefed up to 500 pounds versus 450 on the 106. The PDL drive on this kayak is 1 pound heavier than the 106. So the weight of this hull itself is 87 pounds, and then roughly for the 106 PDL is, I want to say it's like roughly 67, it's like 66.5 pounds, somewhere around there. So the kayak itself just gained a little bit of weight, but with that, now your carry capacity is 500 pounds, so that is nice. And then the only other difference is, in addition of the rod holster, that flush mount, and that's pretty much it. This thing is a great entry-level budget kayak with quality features. The plastic is super nice. Old Town gives you a lifetime warranty on the hull, and you've also got a 5-year warranty on the PDL drive, which is way better than most other kayak companies out there with their warranties for their kayaks. All right, I hope you found this video useful. Hopefully you'll have an opportunity to go test drive the new Topwater 120 PDL. It is an absolute fishing machine. I've been out on the water already twice, and the thing handles superb. I'm able to push pole in the marsh like I can on my Hobie Outback, and it's able to put me on the fish. So I can get out there. The PDL drive can get up to a speed of like 5 miles an hour. Reasonably, I would not be able to maintain or sustain that speed. So my cruising is around 3.5 to 4 miles an hour, but it's definitely a great kayak, especially for those of you looking to get into the sport but don't want to drop $3,000+ on a good quality kayak. This one right here is a great option to get you into the sport. If you know that you're going to like it, well, just know that this thing is quality enough to start placing all types of accessories that's going to make it your own. All right, so if you want to check more about this kayak, then click the link down below. That's going to take you to Old Town's website, where it will allow you to see everything about the features and all the other stats on it. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe for more content that's coming up in the near future using this brand new platform. Thank you, and until next time, tight lines.